Hello and welcome to today's short webinar on can a minor own shares in a private limited company. My name is Jackie Sheldon and it's lovely to have you with me for today's short webinar. I was a corporate solicitor in practice. I worked and trained at Taylor Wessing in London. I moved to the Northwest and I was at Panonis and Hammonds in the Northwest, and I specialised in mergers and acquisitions. And it's a question that comes up a lot in practice, particularly when you are buying or selling shares, because you find out that you've got a minor who is on the register of members. And that's why we're running today's session. Let's have a look at the learning outcomes for today, because there are reasons why children owning shares in a company is common. Particularly, you might see an older generation who want to transfer shares because they are wanting to provide an inheritance and they're thinking about their tax planning. The minor then gets an asset that will hopefully grow in value, and it also means that it's removing that increased value from the donor's estate. So what you can see straight away is that tax here is a huge issue and advice must be taken in terms of your tax planning. And we're not looking at tax or inheritance planning in today's webinar. All we're thinking about today is looking at the corporate issues surrounding a child owning shares in a company. So ensuring that you get tax advice prior to embarking on this is fundamental. What we're going to think about today, so I've talked about a child, we're going to specifically talk about what a minor is. So we'll look at the definition of a minor, we'll look at what the Companies Act says, we'll talk about the Articles of Association, and then we're going to think commercially. So we're going to think about reasons why you should consider not permitting a minor to hold shares. We'll talk about the contract law risks, we'll talk about the risks to the directors of the company, we'll talk about the practicalities surrounding voting with children, and we'll talk about future sale difficulties, which is where my personal area of practice came across this issue. And then we'll finish up briefly thinking about alternative practical solutions.